Hey everybody, I thought I'd do a quick video on how I transfer my seeds that have germinated into my aerogarden unit. A buddy of mine on Canadian Club of Capsicum, John Cowie, he and I were chatting and he was asking me about the aerogarden unit and how I use it. So I thought I'd do a quick video because I just so happen to have a couple of sprouted seeds or germinated seeds. So I thought I'd do that and show you guys as a quick follow-up and how I do my completely random amateur indoor gardening. So basically what I do when I'm germinating my seeds, I do the little ketchup containers with the lids, use some tape, write with a permanent marker, the seed type, and when I set it up. So this was calico, which I got from Texas Hot Peppers in the US. It's a variegated plant because I'm really into variegated peppers or unusual pepper plants. And as you can see, November 13th is when I set this little container up. So all I did for this guy was I took a couple little pieces of rock wool, sprouted it with just regular tap water, and then put the seed on top, kept it moist, you can see the water in there, and put it on my heat mat over there. And covered it up, and every day I check and give it a spritz of water, make sure they're nice and moist, and you can see that my seed germinated. So this is the calico. The other one that has shown up so far was the sangria, which I got in a seed swap with Jennifer Bella. She's awesome. We swapped some pretty interesting varieties of peppers and tomatoes, and I put her seeds for sangria to sprout on November 10th. And see if you can focus in there. Let's see if I can zoom in, and you could probably see, yep, there's one. I think a second one was starting to sprout as well. There are two in there that I noticed little roots on. So what I thought I'd do is show you guys how I go about doing this. So here is a setup that I've got that I've been working on. You can see my heat mat in the background. That I just trial and error. I do things on a whim and see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then I try something else. But basically, what you can see here, and I'll zoom in, is rockwool, and some seeds are sprouting. There's one there, and then there's that there. So basically, what I'm going to do, and you can see another one just coming up there. What I've done is I got these little plant tags off of Amazon, and they're the perfect size for me. They're not very big and fat like most of them tend to be. They work perfectly in my setup. You can see the rockwool cube, just a regular rockwool cube. I wait till the seed sprouts like this. Then I use a tweezer, gently pick up the seed, and put it into the rockwool. Sometimes on one cube I'll put 2, maybe even 3 germinated seeds, because I'll separate them out later, because the rockwool's quite huge. It's a huge cube. So I can easily, for example, here I've got 2 of them sprouting. I can easily just split it down the middle and have 2 separate little plants. I just don't have the heart to kill sprouted plants. I just don't. So I will try to make use of them as best as I can. So this one in the net cup is going to go into a Kratky unit. That's why I put it into a net cup. You can see I just tore that bit of rock wool that had the seed. So it's not a full rock wool size. It's just a chunk of rock wool with the baby plant that just sprouted. Now this sprout got this big in maybe 3 days. Initially it was like this guy here. So in 3 days time, this is what he turned into. Okay, so basically what I did was I kept them in this little domed container to maintain humidity, kept it on my heat mat, so they were warm, they were humid, and they sprout. So right now in my little container I've got Phileas Blue. That's what this guy is, Phileas Blue. I've got Agicharapita. I've got Agicharapita, and you can see this one's growing. I've got Jigsaw, which is a variegated variety, not the Gator Jigsaw, which is a hot pepper. I've got these two here are Jigsaws as well. This one is Uchu Cream, which I'm really excited about, a variegated variety, Uchu Cream. So that's what these guys are. Normally I would wait for them to sprout, then I would set them up in my AeroGarden unit using these pods. Okay, I do not use the brown AeroGarden pods with this brown thing in there. I don't know what this material is. I've read that these material tend to get very algae and very fungusy and stuff. So I just use rock wool. And basically I will, you look at the bottom, you'll see there's that thing here. I'll basically cut that off. So as you can see, I've cut it off, and this will allow me to stuff the rock wool in there and just put it into the AeroGarden unit. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So here I've got a rock wool cube. It's a used one. I mean, I used this a couple of years ago or a friend of mine used this a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what kind of sprouts these are, some sort of herb or something, basil or something. So it's a used AeroGarden, a used rock wool cube, which I've soaked, so it's wet. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to use the holy side. I'm going to basically tear it in chunks. Make sure you can see here there's a dry spot. Make sure it's nice and saturated. Then I'm going to stuff a chunk down into the bottom like this. I'm trying to keep it narrow. I'm trying to keep it like this. Okay. Then I'm going to, so you see this chunk here can kind of fold like this. That's what I'm going to put the seed in and then jam it in there. So basically the seed is going to go right in there, in that little opening. Then I'm going to like squish it shut, and then I'm just going to jam it all the way down. So it's important that it makes contact here, because that's where the water is going to kind of travel up and keep the whole rock wool nice and moist. If there is no contact, then you're not going to get this top piece wet, and that's where your seed is. Until the roots come down here, you really need to make sure that this top part stays wet. Okay, and the only way to do that is to make sure it's got good connection like that. So you're basically fashioning your own AeroGarden plug. All right, then what I'm going to do is I will put the seed right into that little dent and kind of squish it close, but not too closed. I want to give the root, I don't want to give it too much resistance to poke up. Okay, so I'm going to put the seed in that little dent there, close them up, cover them up a little bit, and then pop this into the aerogarden unit. Also important is to have your seed label ready, so that when I make the seed label, what I'll do is I'll just kind of like wedge it in there like that. So I'll know what this little guy is. I made that mistake with a couple of the other ones that I did earlier a month or so ago, and I did not put a little label tag in there, so I have no idea what they are. I think they're Chinese 5 colors that were given to me by another Canadian Club of Capsicum member named Jordan. He also gave me my first KS white tie seeds, and also some KSLS seeds, and a couple other very generous members also gave me some KSLS seeds, which as soon as I have fruit, I am for sure going to be paying those forward. Okay, so if anybody needs KSLS or KS white tie seeds sometime next year, like after my guys have fruited, you're more than welcome to message me. I'm more than happy to pay it forward. So this is me taking up the little baby seedling. I'm gonna go for this guy here. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Now I don't touch the root with my tweezers. I'm gonna touch the actual seed capsule and just gently lift it up like so. Then I'm gonna put it in, and I try to put it where the root is pointing down, like so. Sorry, I was focused on it. So this is my little seed here. The root's pointing down. I'm just gonna kind of like nestle him in there, but I haven't pushed down too much. Okay. So this is my aerogarden harvest unit. I actually just went on Amazon and saw that the Bounty was on Black Friday, or special deal of the day. So what I'm going to do now is simply just pop this little guy into my aerogarden unit. I'm also going to, I have the domes here. I'm also going to cover him with the domes that come along with the aerogarden unit kit. It's these little guys. I'm just going to cover him up. One thing I forgot to do, again, was put the label in. So I'm going to get the label and do that now. It's so easy to forget to put your labels in, guys. I can't tell you how much it saves you of wondering what it is if you forget to put the labels. So please, please, please remember to put your labels on, or else you're going to be all confused, especially when you have multiple varieties like I do. What I also have done is, if I'm not moving the pods around my aerogarden unit, I'll stick a piece of tape with what it is. So KSLS, I know that's my freshly topped KSLS. This I didn't label. I do believe it's a Chinese 5 color that may have been given to me by Jordan. This is my KS white tie that I showed in my previous video that I topped. This one I filmed, sorry. This one I filmed just a couple days ago. I look at the difference on the growth there. These were just little nubs, and look at them. They're just like, just bursting. And this is after filming the top. All right, so filming really makes a big difference, I think. Here is the Chinese 5 color that I filmed as well, the same time as I filmed that, and already you see the growth happening. And this is not in a hydroponic system. I actually haven't fed this guy any nutrients yet. I'm thinking this weekend I will feed it some dilute hydronutrients, probably Dynagrow or something. I'll see what I've got around. this is my pepper in a bottle. It's not doing as good. As you can see, it's suffering a little bit. I have a straw in there. I also pour water down the top. I have no idea how the root structure is yet because I can't really see it. So I don't think I'm a fan of the pepper in a bottle idea. I'm more of a fan of the pepper in a beer can idea because, as you can see, these are doing much better than the pepper in a bottle. Alright, just as an aside, this is my older aerogarden unit. This unit I bought used, and this is a 6-pod. It's a classic 6, I believe it's called. And I stuck some random baby tomato seedlings in there, and I have baby tomatoes, and this must be about maybe a month and a half ago that I stuck them in. And I'm hoping these are either Orange Hat or Tiny Tim's or Ham's Galbi is the other micro that I grew. And I'm hoping that I'll wait till these guys ripen to know what they are. The bigger, bushier ones in the back are Geranium Kiss tomatoes. And those are supposed to be not micros, they're supposed to be dwarfs, so they should get up to 2 feet tall. But I've been cutting them back a bit. You can see the leaves are suffering a little bit. I've been cutting them back in the hopes that I'll get a couple fruit just to see what the tomato is like. I'm not really gonna hold on to them for any length of time. Honestly, once I harvest a few fruit, I'm pulling them out to the aerogarden unit. I'm sticking peppers in, and maybe a couple micro dwarf tomatoes. Alright, hope you enjoyed my videos. Just one more, my KSY time, so happy about it. My KSLS, and this little guy here is in a crack case. So this is similar to what I intend to do with the other guy over on the other side. As you can see, it's in a crack case. This is a plant that I actually dug up from outside. I believe it's a New Mexico 6. It's sort of like a hatch chili pepper. The old brown roots are the dirt roots, but I put it in a Kratky system. And the white roots are the Kratky roots, or the hydro roots. And as you can see, it's doing really good. I'm trying to put it back in. I may have to take my video off to do that, but it's doing really well. You can see the nice little white roots growing and the good foliage on top. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this guy is going to turn out. Here's my little Banchi. This is a Chinese 5 color. This is an Apache pepper. You can tell because of the white flowers, and it's doing really, I love the branch structure on this little guy. I have moss over it because I'm trying to train the roots over a rock which is underneath. You can't see the rock yet, but as it matures, I will take the moss off and display the roots later on. And this is another Banchi that I have. And this one, I believe, is the Peach Ghost pepper. And I dug it up out to the garden, cleaned off the roots, trimmed it down, and stuck it in this teeny tiny little pot. And it's doing great. I have them both in a container, so when I water, there is some water at the bottom to always keep them moist, but not soggy. Here's another one that I tried to Banchi as well. It's a yellow bikinia. You see, you can make labels out of anything. Plastic spoons, bits of tape, markers, doesn't matter. So this is doing pretty good. I was actually surprised it survived, but you can see a lot of new growth on there. And I'm pretty happy about it as well. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I know I can ramble on and on about my peppers, but shoot me a message if you have any questions. Bye.